know.
I'd like to call the meeting to order.
I know.
And the first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
It was back there. It's missing.
Okay, well, we don't need it. We are going to pledge it anyway. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and a safety announcement. Oh, now you do it.
Something else, buddy.
You can let it wave while we're doing the safety announcement.
Yes, for your safety, the exits are located. Oh,
Okay, moving right along, we're moving to approve the consent agenda, which are the minutes, the regular session minutes for February 7, 2023, February 15, 2023. And the bills, general fund bills, 1.4 million, grant fund bills, 1.4 million, Northwest Regional Special Education bills, $3,000. We're going to take a vote, a second, and then we can have a discussion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Are there any discussions or questions around the consent agenda tonight? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next agenda item is the DECA field trip to Orlando, Florida. I don't know if there's someone here that would like to speak to that, or I can ask our superintendent just to talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, I am going to recommend that the school committee approve the request for the DECA field trip to Orlando, Florida on April 21st to April 26th. DECA is a high school CTSO club which supports the entrepreneurship pathway and work-based learning hours and hand-on experiences for students in the field. This year, 13 of our students competed at the state conference at Johnson & Wales on February 10th, and 8 are eligible to represent Rhode Island at the International Career Development Conference in Orlando from April 21st to the 26th. So I'm very proud of that, and I would recommend approval.
Okay, Michael, would you like to make a comment about this agenda item?
Hi, everyone. Nope, Lori did a great job. I just want to let you know that the DECA advisor, Shayna Bloom, is also on Zoom. So should you have any questions about the trip, Shayna is on Zoom and she could answer any questions that you have.
I just would like to say thank you, Shayna, for making yourself available for this wonderful opportunity for our kids. And I know you have my full support, and I'm sure in a few seconds you're going to hear the full support of the committee. I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to talk about.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. And thanks for unmuting me. I was trying so hard to unmute and figure it out. So I'm super proud. I'm super proud to be, going on behalf of Scituate, and I'm super proud of these kids. These are kids that are just so excited to compete, so excited to travel and represent our school, and are really motivated. They're having fundraisers, and I really think it's going to really enhance their entrepreneurship skills, and really it's a real compliment to the CTSO and to the entrepreneurship pathway. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited to take them and, show off all the good stuff we have in Scituate.
Well, I hope the trip is a success and you make us proud. Do I have a motion to approve the DECA field trip?
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
Just regarding the time departure returning to Scituate, I think the school committee would like to know when they're getting back safely, as well as the parent, if they could add that in there. We have departure times, but not return times.
Oh, okay, sure.
Times
Absolutely.
without it saying AM or PM. That's
Can
not
you-
on there.
Can you still hear me, guys? Because
Yes.
it looks like my video and my audio is going in and out. So I can tell you right now that we leave at roughly, and I will absolutely forward it to you because I've got all that. Oh, can you see? Are you there?
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
Thank you, thank you. I feel like I'm brand new to Zoom for the first time or something. I apologize. So yes, I can tell you that we leave at 1:30, or we arrive we leave at 10:30 in the morning on Friday and arrive at 1:30. And then we leave at, I guess I can see what you're saying. We leave at 10:30, or no, excuse me, 7:25 in the morning on Wednesday and arrive at 10:30 in the morning on Wednesday. So 10:30 to PVD, but it's, here it is right here, 7:25 a.m. and then arrive back at 10:30.
Okay, thank you. One other question. I just want
Sure.
clarity on cost to students. It says see write-up. I think that's the write-ups you put below, but I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a cost to students. It's not being in there.
I haven't seen I didn't see that part that said cost of students. So
Yeah,
I can,
where you say where it says see write-up in parentheses?
yeah, I didn't know that page, but I can tell you that the cost to students, there is a cost to students because the whole trip was around $1,200, and we are able to fund through some of the CTSO stuff, a fair portion of it, but it's about $570 so they're paying for their airfare and their registration beyond, or airfare and registration and anything for food. But we are also doing an extensive amount of fundraising for the trip as well. And I've already talked with the parents and they're all on board with that. And they've seen all different pieces. I can forward you all that. What's that? Can anybody, hello?
So I can assure school committee that any student that requires additional financial support, we will find a way to make sure that that happens. If parents want to make a donation, they will, they certainly can do that. But if students need financial assistance based on the law around field trips, we will make sure that that is taken care of.
Thank you.
And to Lori's point, Lori's right on. We did not ask students to pay. We asked for a donation from families. And then Shayna held a Zoom meeting with all parents, and it was very clear that if anyone needed any financial help, that was there. And that's money raised through DECA. So the finances
Yes.
are there for any family that may need it.
Yes, absolutely. And I've shared that and talked with families as well. Thank you guys all for clarifying. This is my first Zoom school committee meeting, so I'm just, kind of fumbling through. But please, if you need any clarification, I would be glad to provide you whatever you need.
Okay, thank you. Colleen, anything else? Okay.
No, thank you.
Honestly, I just want to see if
Go ahead.
Shana could mention the names of the students that are going, that did a great job for the people on Zoom in attendance tonight. Shana?
Or maybe after the trip. I don't know if everyone's actually committed.
Maybe they can come back and tell us about the
Yeah.
trip
Even better.
when you're
Great to have
done.
them come here.
We will put this as a follow-up agenda item so that you can meet the students and they can talk about it. Great.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be great. We would love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hearing this tonight too. I know you guys are very busy, so we appreciate it.
Well-
We appreciate your enthusiasm about this. We can hear it in your voice, so we can't wait. We can't wait.
Excited.
We can't wait for you guys to come back and tell us this is all good stuff. So we get to talk about stuff that's not always fun. This is fun. So,
Thank you.
and enthusiasm is contagious. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to make a motion. I don't think we made a motion yet, did we?
No.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Decker field trip to Orlando, Florida.
Yay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Um,
everyone.
Thank you.
The next agenda item is the introduction of the Director of Curriculum and update on the work with the curriculum consultant, Carol Blanchett. And I just, before I turn it over to you, I just want to encourage everyone, if you haven't had a chance to sit down with Ozzy, I would really encourage you all to do so. I was really, really excited after we spoke, Ozzy, and I'm so grateful that we have you here in this district. And I was really, really happy about the way you're embracing some of the curriculum work that we're trying to do. And if you look at the scope of work that I know that you've worked hard on with Carol along with Lori, it really embraces the work of our teachers. It's going to help them. And it's so unfair for teachers to have to keep learning new curriculum, learning new curriculum, learning new curriculum. So I really want to protect them on that. And I just want to make sure that you use this opportunity with this assessment that's being done as a springboard. And I know you're going to talk more about that, but I just want to say welcome from me, and encourage everyone to please try to stop by and have a conversation with Ozzy. She really understands the work deeply. With that said, I hope I didn't steal anything that you were going to say, but I wanted you to,
No, I just want to introduce Azadea Norbolucci, lovingly called Ozzy for short, and welcome her here to Situate. I know that the interview committee was very excited to forward her name to me. Ozzy comes to us with a long line of experience. Her most recent experience being working at RIDE with a number of districts around district improvement and increasing student achievement levels. She's also worked in Coventry as an assistant principal at the middle school level, was a STEAM coordinator for Charahoe, and a math teacher. So we're really fortunate to have her. She's got a breadth of experience, and she's got me running every day and on my toes. It's nice to have a thought partner that can help push my thinking, and hopefully I can do some of that for her also. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ozzy, and you can see for yourself why we're so excited that she's here to work with us.
you did say you bought a new dress for the introduction. I just,
Might be a bad omen.
It's recording.
no singing, Ozzy.
Or dancing.
So is this good now? Oh, awesome. So Shayna, as Shayna said, this is the first time I actually with the camera, and I definitely did not take the best seat in the house. I'm right. Does not look very good. So I'm really, really excited to be here. Okay. So as was and I come from Coventry before, right? Hello. All right. I was wondering. Okay. So I was in RIDE for the past 2 years as a fellow, and before that I was at the high school and middle school as a assistant principal for teaching and learning mostly. I'm really, really excited to start this work, and hopefully we can all collectively contribute to getting even better. So if you want to go to, actually, let me just say that upon my arrival here, I sent a little survey to our teachers and asked them to write down 3 things about themselves to me, and 2 things they were proud of, and 1 thing that if they had a magic wand, they would change. And that was giving me a baseline of where we stand as a staff and as a community. So if you go to the next slide, please, Chris. This is the wordle that came out about what they were proud of. I get chills just looking at it, because if you see, students is the biggest. They are so proud of the students. They have a sense of community. They said the word family a lot. So I just kind of wanted to show that this is what we are and what we stand for. And I told this to Carolyn when I started. I have moved. I'm going to tell you guys 3 things about myself. The first is that I'm a mother of 2, a 8th grader and a 4th grader. I have a dog, Skittles. I don't know. The name came from my daughter. The second thing is that I've moved 20 times in my life. I'm Persian. If you hear the accent, please tell me I don't have much of it, but anyhow, so I have moved 20 times, so it has kind of shown to me the importance of a community, and I call a place home, and I give it my all. And I'm looking at Lisa because Lisa has seen me in action in Coventry. So I'm happy to be a proud member of the Scituate school community. And I told Mr. Hassel that I'll be bleeding blue very soon. I have to get some new wardrobe other than the black that I own. And the third thing I wanted to say is, what did I want to say? Yeah, I already told you guys that I'm Persian. Okay. The one thing I'm very proud of this, because to me, this is what we are here for as an educational community. And also, I'm really proud of the baseline that I'm trying to determine and everybody's willingness to kind of give me their advice or their input. The one thing that if I had a magic wand would change are the stop signs in Scituate, because I literally have to close my eyes and just try to get there. So that's my thing. I was going to do a quick activity with the school committee members, but I don't think that we have enough time. But I did bring some Dove chocolates, and I was gonna have you guys.
I didn't notice that.
And I think we might have enough for everybody. So I'm hoping. All right. So please take one. And my hope was that they open it and they read the saying inside and say what resonates with them based on the saying. I know. I think you should take one and just open it. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to have your message. We open them now.
Yes, please open them now and read them as the little saying that says, there's a saying usually, hopefully they're appropriate. I bought them. So
Just another reason to each other.
and just tell us in one sentence, what is the sentence and how does it resonate with you this afternoon? Yes.
So mine says book the flight. So I'm wondering if those lovely darling children might need an additional chaperone in Orlando, right in April. Mhm.
Mine says book the flight.
Oh, coming with me? Oh.
I'm going.
Take me away.
Mhm.
Mine says always time for love.
Oh.
How does that resonate with you? Because I love my community and I love my children more than anything.
I need my son, eyeglasses. Says.
Trying this around.
I can't read the letter.
You gotta put your mic on.
We have enough. Please take one that has it.
This is going right on. You missed something up. I think maybe it's supposed to say throw
Kindness around like.
throw kindness around like confetti.
Yes.
Kindness.
Well, honestly, living in this community for 30 years, all the people I've met have given their big heart and have been very generous and tried to do the best we could for this community. That's my personal opinion. I'm gonna eat the
Alright.
chocolate now.
Bon appetit. Again, I did this because I as a way to kind of assess the baseline and the feel of the school committee or any faculty meeting or any meeting. This is a really quick way of breaking the ice. So nice meeting you all. And absolutely my pleasure. Next slide, please. So as I started this whole process on February 13th, I've been really trying to come up with some focus areas. I'm a very linear thinker. I was a math teacher, so I do need to make a plan for myself. So I'm proposing that these would be my focus areas. And of course, we could add and subtract from this as needed, but really curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And I do have some ideas around where to start. Federal grants is something that is going to be a part of my responsibilities. I really truly believe that our systems and procedures, if they're clear and they're concrete and they are referable and accessible, that it will lead to a lot more success. As Lori said, I was a part of the district support program at RIDE. So I have extensive knowledge of the Education Accountability Act as it relates to school and district improvement plans. So my hope is that we can kind of collectively with the assistance of our school improvement teams to align our work from the school level to the district level. So we all have the same vision and working towards the same goals. And then my hope is to really, really be very needs-based and interest-based and intentional about professional learning opportunities for our teachers. So we're going to be doing a lot of data work in this remainder of this year. Do I ask, is the questions per slide or at the end? If there are no are there any questions on this slide? Okay, next slide then, please. Thank you. I wanted to kind of represent with a visual. I don't want to do a lot of writings on the slides. So please do ask questions if there are any. But any improvement process starts with a real baseline. So conducting a needs assessment, then getting some priorities, doing a root cause analysis. And I have to tell you, as an administrator for 9 years, I didn't do that part, which is the why, the reasons behind why a problem exists or persists. Then setting goals collectively, and then progress monitoring, revising, doing initiatives. And the next slide is actually going to show how it belongs in this process, actually is included in our district and school improvement.
Can you please
Sure.
talk a little bit about, am I on? Okay. Can you please talk as you go through this, how this is all relating to what we talked about, and how the assessment that's happening now as you go through the slides? Can you talk a little bit what those intersections are? Because I think one of the things that we talked about is how this work that's being done by Carol is really going to provide you with a huge boost because of the lift and so on. So can you talk a little bit about what we talked about and how that's going to work, and especially as it relates to the previous slide?
Absolutely. If you don't mind, the next slide actually I have color coded where we are intersecting and how that,
Okay.
because you had asked me to.
And Carolyn has worked with you on this, or looked
yes.
at the.
Yeah. Carol, yes,
Carol.
yes.
Yeah, Carol. I
So
just want to be sure there's.
I want to definitely, I'll go there. I just wanted to kind of tell you everybody about the district improvement, district strategic plan and the components that are required as it kind of relates to what we just saw, which is starting with needs-based assessment. So that's the yellow. Then setting priorities was the next step. Goals was the next step. The root cause analysis does not belong in there as a required component, but it is a part that for school improvements is a required component. Setting initiatives and writing action steps. I wanted to talk about the fact that this year is the first year that the state has mandated an improvement plan to be approved by the superintendent and submitted to RIDE by July 1st. And district strategic plans are due June 1st to the state. So we have the next few months to actually align, finish up, and really, really submit something that we're proud of. As the required components, again, based on the law, if Chris is looking, am I wrong? Okay. Based on the law, if we are below 80% proficiency in any of the core content areas, ELA, math, and science, we have to include a goal on that. In the state of Rhode Island, there's one school that has that. So everybody in the state is going to have 3 goals out of the maximum of 5. 1 on math, 1 on ELA, and 1 on science. And that's where Carol's work is going to be really complementary and actually essential to the success of this work for the rest of this year. So if you go to the next slide, this is any kind of a problem statement. And for an example, I picked one of our schools and says 40% of our students in grade 5 are meeting and or exceeding expectations in math. My problem statement for that data statement I just gave you would be, why are only 40%? So the reasons could be, and we would do this as a team, we're going to say, okay, maybe they're not in school, a lot of them. That would go under climate and culture. Maybe last year, 5th grade teacher was not there. So that would go under talent and collaboration. We didn't have a teacher. That could be a reason why our scores are the way they are. One of the reasons could be my materials that I use as a teacher are not good. They're not aligned to RICAS. That would go under high quality material and instruction. And then they would say maybe a potential reason would be we don't have an RTI and MTSS system. That would go under leadership and system. I circled the high quality materials and instruction because really with the help of Carol Blanchett, who actually was my mentor, and I worked under her as an assistant superintendent in Charo. So we go way back. And I always say, once a mentor, always a mentor. I am very happy that she's here. We had really great conversations. She's going to be really, really critical to getting as much information from all of our stakeholders for that high quality material and instruction. So what we are hoping to do is get a baseline from parents, students, teachers. What is happening? What are the highlights? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses or concerns about what we have? What extra supports do we need? So if you go to the next one, Chris, there we go. So our vision really is the ones that I highlighted. I think they're in red. By the way, the fourth thing about me, I'm colorblind. I actually have a degree in architecture and interior design, and definitely I think that's why I don't practice. But I think it's red. The 2 red ones are the ones that the needs assessment. Carol is going to be really, really helping to interview parents, focus groups, students, design surveys. We're going to analyze the surveys together. I really, really am hoping that a lot of these steps are not going to be I or Carol. It's going to be a collective. I recently went to a conference. It says something along the lines that I take away. Nothing about us without us. So if we're making a decision for our students, if their voices are not heard, it's unfair. If it's about teachers, the same thing. So I really truly believe in the collective vision setting and collective responsibility. So Carol is going to help with that red part. As administrators with the teacher leaders, the union leadership, I've talked to Maureen already. Hello, Maureen. We're going to set priorities together. Then the root cause analysis part, which is a very in-depth part and should be done through school improvement teams or leadership groups or teachers that want to volunteer to help us out. That also is going to be a part that Carol Blanchett's work is going to be really important for us to get really a good discussion of why we see some persisting problems. And then we're going to really, really try to, if we call it for a for a root cause analysis, we call it a brain dump, because really you can have 99 causes, but really you want to come up with 2 or 3 critical roots that you can design initiatives for the following year. You try it out. If it works, great. We're going to continue. If it doesn't, we're going to abandon it. So the next slide, and the final slide, I promise, is this. So decision making is, when I have those 99 critical root causes, we're going to just rate them, and literally we put them on sticky notes and this graph. If it's highly feasible and highly important to us for achieving our goal, it's going to be, let's do it on that little right side. If it's a little bit in between and it has potential, we're going to discuss it, because some of those we might want to invest the money in. Those are the has potentials. If it's something that is low importance and low feasibility, we're going to do what? Let it go. So that's the Elsa move right there. Oh God,
Unless you were gonna wear the new dress, you didn't have the dress nursing. Want a tight ship around your eyes, and you're gonna find out soon.
I got it. So let it go. No, but truly, I think this visual is really kind of a really good representation of, sometimes we say we're gonna get something new. Okay, it's gonna cost us $1.5 million. We think it's gonna work, so we're gonna go to the ones that have potential, or just really let's do it, no brainers. That's it. One last one, and that's it. Yes, please. Oh.
How are we gonna know to let it go? Like, how far along the process
Yeah.
are we gonna say, let it go? Is it gonna be too late or too early?
So that's a great question, $1 million question, Mr. Pendergast, because I think initially when we do pick our initiatives, we want to try to let go of the things that we have to. But then the progress monitoring, if it's not frequent enough, and it says, I think we have to say what's regular progress monitoring. But truth be told, I think because our strategic plan is for 3 years, yearly is going to be where we decide whether we keep it or toss. So if our improved experiences for teaching and learning for all is our major target all the way to the right, our roadmap is to learn from the data and the input from all stakeholders. We sure have to align our plans, select initiatives. I don't want to read all of those, but really, again, I wanted to make sure that I say communication is going to be key, reflection, revisions, transparency, collective decision-making, so that we are all working towards the same goal. I hope this was not so, I'm usually more fun than this, but first meeting.
So, does anybody have any questions on the presentation, on the work that Ozzy is thinking about and helping us forward? Because don't sit down, because I always have questions, but I'm trying really hard since the beginning of the year to let everybody else talk before I take it over. And then I let it go.
We're waiting.
Okay. So Ozzy, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about when I got here 6 years ago, and it's really about your timeline. And I know I don't have much time left. I got about maybe 18 months, a little bit more than that. Nobody clap. But when I got here, I saw a district dying on the vine. I saw no advocacy. I saw no investment. We were, when the state went to this entrepreneurial model for students moving around on the secondary level to programs, we were not even out of the gate. Our facilities were crumbling. We weren't even applying for housing aid. And I was hearing when I was going door to door about how, our kids were there. We used to be in the top 3 and everything happened. And now we're in the middle. And then I was saying to them, I said, because look at the investments. The town gave very little money to the schools. They were getting 0% increases. And the budgeting was really archaic. And so it took time for us to get in here. And one of the things that I probably doesn't feel that way. I'm hoping that you can listen to me because it's from my heart, but I am a pro educator, and I felt like these teachers, and they were unbelievable, by the way. It's just that, with all the curriculum that was being developed, a lot of the curriculum that was being taught was their own curriculum, and there was no, especially to one of the biggest problems we had, from school to elementary school to elementary school, there was no continuity of curriculum. And so what did that do to our secondary level? The kids were coming and they were learning all, along the standards, but not in a very consistent way. So we made a conscious effort to really invest in the teachers, in curriculum, and in the buildings. And I mean, our budget it's a robust budget. They finally have a budget to work with. And I hope that when I'm going and this, and I know that there'll be people here on this committee that will really continue to fight for the kids, and for the teachers. But we had all in good intentions. We came in, we're gonna be the top 5 in 5. I think I had too much GIST going. I worked for GIST, so I think I had too much of the GIST going through my brain. But I felt in my heart that because we were so small, if we made those right investments, if we, really embraced our teachers, we would get there. And I know it's like, I heard, I know you probably, everybody in this room, I know it's like turning an aircraft carrier. It doesn't happen overnight. And then lo and behold, we got out of the block. And I know Heather Daler is here. She's one of my favorite curriculum people in the district. She's been leading our math curriculum. Ruth Trainer has done an amazing. We have some really talented people out there that are leading our other teachers. We got good teacher leaders here. They got the curriculum, they were out of the gate, and then COVID hit. And then, so we kind of we lost our rhythm. It was so much excitement. We were moving forward. And so here I am 6 years later, and I feel like I'm running out of time. And so, lo and behold, I wanted to see if we could hit like a reset button, which was why I wanted to do the assessment on the curriculum. At the same time, I know Lori was looking for a curriculum director to replace the last one we had. So I wanted to ask you, there's a question in here, and believe me, based on your timeline, and I know the aircraft carrier is not going to be turned by the time I leave my seat here. But what can we expect in 18 months? Can we get that rhythm back? Can we get that foundation back that we had, And I don't know, based on that, have you thought about what it's, or are we waiting for the data? Are you waiting for this assessment and for the teacher's input and for the parent input? And I know that, you're going to be talking to a lot of people. So now I'll try to stop talking, and if you could help me. But that was kind of this whole time with, bringing somebody on to look at curriculum. That was what was behind me. I wanted to see, where are we after this? We were doing so well. So talk to me about what the
Can I
plan
just
is.
say one thing? And I certainly want to hear from you. I think we also, and I'm sure Carolyn is very much aware of this, Carolyn's very passionate about, and we are also very much cognizant that you've been here less than a month.
And it's-
Right. So I just wanted
Wait,
to, yeah.
Because I want to
I
make
know,
sure
I know,
that
I know.
I understand that. And so, but we've invested in a curriculum person in our middle and high school. We're trying to put the right building blocks in. I think you're another essential piece of that. And I'm hoping that with Carol's work, she can really help, again, give you a good jump on it. But talk to me about what you see, and not what you see because you've been here for 5 minutes, but what you think could potentially happen.
So I'm going to refer to what I know, which is if we set rigorous yet attainable goals and we experience success. So I'm not going to say stand here. I guess that's it. I'm not going to stand here and say we're going to be top 5 in the
I'm
next.
not putting that out
what-
there anymore.
What I do want to say is that we're going to set goals that we're going to improve our students' achievement on math, ELA, and science. We are going to do some no-brainers, and we're going to see results. That's the content. That's what research shows. We're doing evidence-based ways of improving. So I'm going to tell you that next year we are going to be improving in math, ELA, science. The way we get there, and again, that when we talk about curriculum is one component of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
What is going to give us the information is what our needs are, because any curriculum is going to be missing some component. No curriculum is one size fits all. We have differently able students that we know are not meeting expectations. So what can we do for them? What can we do for our MLO hopefully, we're going to have some. Yes, we do. So I am going to promise that we're going to improve, and we are going to be progress monitoring so much so that we know if we're not taking the right step, we're going to revise. I believe in risk taking, and I believe in the teachers told us, they believe in students. And when you look at numbers, and Clayville is a model, they're a 5-star school, Clayville Elementary School. So I want to look at what they're doing. Maybe we can replicate in the other schools, because I truly believe in the horizontal alignment of our curriculum. Vertical, okay, we got the curriculum, it's vertically aligned, they say. But really, the scope and sequence and how they fit, maybe probability and statistics in Bridges or in, what do we do? Agile Minds might be taught after RICAS. So really, I want to check to see if we can do really low-hanging things that we can do right away to make a difference.
And I'm telling you, if the assessment comes back and you all agree, including Lori, that we're abandoning this one, we're going forward, I don't care what the answer is. I really don't. But here's what I know. Our teachers have been through professional development. They've learned all of this stuff, our students, and I just hope that, I'm just saying, I don't care what it is, and I'm not influencing it, because I think the teachers will be the ones to inform you, as well as administrators and students and parents. But I'm hoping we can build on the investments that we made, and then augment where we can.
Absolutely.
But if it's not the top one, then we need to let it go. And I will support whatever the team and our teachers believe in on that.
I think that means a lot to me, at least as a newcomer. Thank you so much for your support.
Honestly, I have a question. I have a question, honestly. Honestly, I worked in the school for almost 13 years here. Honestly, I know how passionate the teachers are. I see how hard they work. However, the testing, do the students sometimes not take it serious enough? Like, honestly, we say, oh, we're in the top 5. Parents, great. Do the students take it that way?
And that we have done a lot of research, at least in my previous positions, and there are some kids that just click. But that we were talking in school improvement team at the high school the other day, and really the kids are saying, let's tell the kids SAT might not matter for your college admission, but it matters to our school. We have pride in our school. So we have to do a better job of really incentivizing hard work and perseverance in the assessment. That's going to be one of the goals at the high school. I know that we just met on this. So definitely we do have some work to do around student engagement and motivation on assessment. Any questions?
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Ozzy.
Welcome, Ozzy. I haven't had the chance to meet you yet. So your plan sounds phenomenal, and you two certainly are exuding excitement and enthusiasm. So very excited to have you here with us.
Okay, thank you. The next agenda item is our superintendent's report. So I'm going to turn it right over to our superintendent.
Good evening. I'm going to start with the employee updates. You have the employee update sheet in your packet. I would like to welcome Caitlin LaBeouf as a paraprofessional. She'll be a clerk at the high school, middle school, in the nurse's office. Zachary Hicks, welcome. He's a new bus monitor in the district. And Emma Wolfgang Smith is a new social worker who'll be working out of Northwest Regional Special Ed. And again, officially welcome Ozzy to the district, and you can see the amount of energy, focus, and accountability she's going to add to our ranks. So,
Chocolate.
and chocolate, always chocolate.
chocolates tonight, Ozzy.
You were good. We didn't need it.
I liked it.
Stephanie, Carolyn, Colleen Rose, and I presented the budget to the town budget committee on February 16th. I feel like it was a really good conversation that we had with them. I know that the committee has moved the budget forward to the full council. The budget does include all the CBA salary increases, and I'm pleased to say that we are close to a final contract proposal that is in almost finished form. Stephanie's working on the final adjustments for end of the year to end our year out, and we should be able to give the committee a deeper understanding of the year-end finances at the April meeting. Ozzy and I attended a full day meeting at the Annenberg Institute at Brown University on Thursday. And the work was all around the state of recovery in Rhode Island. Most of all, the school districts were present and discussions centered on the following questions. What was our experience during COVID? What did we learn? And what are we doing with ESSER funds? What's working? What's not working? And how do we move forward once those funds no longer exist? We took the opportunity to learn from other districts and examine our own work pretty critically. I think the timing could not have been better as we embark on the curriculum assessment work that the committee has requested. I know that we learned Thursday, coupled with the deep dive into our data and the results of the curriculum assessment, will help us to adjust the path as we move forward so that our students and staff are challenged and supported to achieve at levels we know they are capable of. We've collected all the ESSER 3 goals, the initiatives, the students that have been invited to programs, the number of students participating, their attendance, and the student achievement levels upon entry and then after intervention in one database. A number of the programs are running currently, and the high school has programs slated for SAT and PSAT prep. When all the spring programs and interventions are completed, we'll make a complete presentation to this committee. Our goal is to examine our interventions for effectiveness and make any needed adjustments in programs to optimize student gap closure. So that's where we're headed. Additionally, this was not listed on my report, but it's all over the news, the potential transportation strike in Providence. I did send a correspondence out to parents of Situate. We are not involved in that work action, but because it is the same union, we could be peripherally affected. I will forward that email that I sent to parents to all of the committee members so that you have it. But I did want parents to know that we may get a call that there is a picket line up in Situate that our drivers may not cross. So we do have a plan to get kids to the private schools and career and tech programs that they need to get to, but students coming to Situate, we'd be looking for parents to transport. So as soon as we know something, we'll let everyone else know, but we're sort of on watch.
I wanted to, so I did receive it, not because I'm special, but because I'm a parent. So it came through on my regular email. So the only thing that I thought was a little bit confusing, and it may have been, so obviously this has to do with Providence, but it could
Yes.
impact, and I don't know if this was like a copy and paste trying to get it together, but it says based on the information at hand, it is not clear if our Teamsters drivers will cross the picket line or not. They are scheduled to meet tonight at 6 p.m. to vote on our final proposals. So that's not our,
It's Providence.
okay, I just wanted to be clear that that's how, okay.
Yes, I'm sorry if that's confusing.
No, and I think, again, trying to get something out
Yeah, we
timely.
wanted to get it out quick. It's Providence's proposal. The only way it will affect us is if they put up a picket line here in Situate. They do, in fact, I've been told, have signs up in Pawtucket.
Okay.
We have no signs here. I checked our bus yard right before I came here tonight. We have nothing down there, so it doesn't appear that we're going to be affected, but you know, it's the Teamsters, who knows?
So, and I would have to, and I don't want to be a pessimist by any means, but, and I know in the email, it said that we'd be calling upon our parents to transport our students to schools. And I know a number of them do, but obviously not everybody has that ability to do so.
I
So,
know.
yeah.
I know. And so if we find that, you know, clearly we'll be having lots of conversations. If we find that we.
I
have
hope
a-
we don't. I don't want to,
I don't need.
I
a-
know, but I'm just
but a
trying to
high
be,
absentee rate,
yeah.
and it's gonna be a couple of days. We'll have conversations with the teachers and with the leadership about what we're gonna do to support all kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the Teamsters agenda item on executive session is not.
It's not related to that.
I just, because sometimes parents might get confused on that. I did want to ask, does anybody have any other questions for Lori? I want to talk about the budget a little bit, Lori. I know that you might have a little bit of an update. Well, let me talk a little bit about what happened at the council meeting and what happened at the final approval for the school committee. You know that currently we have $300,000 of capital reserve. And we asked for an additional 50 and for that to grow at least till 500, at least to $500,000. Well, not only did they give us the 50, they gave us 100,000. So we are now, yes, it's great news. So that's,
Say they so.
that's $400,000 if it passes the FTM meeting. And so that's the good news of the
And,
budget.
and Carolyn, again, kudos to you and Lori and Stephanie, who's not here tonight, but there's like, and we're working through, and thank you to the budget committee on it, obviously.
Yeah, it's going,
because
it hasn't been approved.
I know,
yet,
sure, I won't
But
get
it's
too excited,
going,
but
yeah.
have been trying, we need this to sustain, and was the goal of doing, and if they're able to give us,
And when we came, there was so little.
I know,
activity.
it's very exciting. I'm sorry.
So can I build on that a little bit? At the RISA meeting this morning, we were notified that there is legislation
I wanted you to mention.
at the
that.
state level, that the reimbursement is currently at 40%, but there's legislation to push it to 45, which would put us
The lowest 45
being the
the lowest. With the incentives, it would put us at 60.
So, and again, back to the fact that, and I'm going to put a lot of this right back to you.
Oh, no.
Well, but for several years, long before anyone sat at this table, we were getting zero.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see and how we've been able to build that egg. And as you talked about, so, and again, that 400 coming back to see, it's like a double whammy.
Good news all around.
Okay, so that was the good news. So the other news about the budget is because the town is moving to a new state fiscal year, we really tried to be collaborative and we wanted to be sure that this was successful because it's going to benefit our planning for
Forever.
future budgets and so on, because we'll get more up-to-date information from the state and how they're running their
Our
numbers.
budget will be more closely. aligned.
Correct. So state aid we got a good increase in state aid due to our it had to do with the housing and the median family income and assessments. So, but when we called RIDE, they asked us not to budget the full amount. And so we backed it down to be super conservative. And then we said, okay, we'll make some tough cuts because we want to keep it low so they can be successful in getting it there. But if we ultimately get the full state aid, we could go back and fill in, you were there, Colleen, the curriculum and everything else. And we did make we did state to the committee that if we couldn't restore them, that we would come back next year and get that curriculum back and the maintenance back. So we asked for a certain level of local appropriation, which is like a 1.6% increase. It was very, very modest. It was very low. And what they did was they took the state aid that we didn't take, and they said that they're going to use, they increased our state aid by the 188, and they reduced our local aid by the 188 and put it in a contingency fund. So if we don't get the state aid, they'll give us the 188. But the problem is we wanted the 188, we wanted the local appropriation and the additional state aid to restore our cuts. And one of the things I said when we moved into the budget committee, I said, let's not play games this year. You always come back, oh, take 50. We're going to give you an honest budget, but lessons learned. So, overall, it will help the town, but we're going to have to go back and just, I'm going to write the council a letter I'll run it by the committee and maybe we'll, on behalf of the committee, and ask them if ultimately they don't spend that 188 out of the local appropriation, that they will restore the cuts and make those the top priority moving forward. And so we'll see what happens. So I know it's a little confusing, but that's kind of where we landed. But on the upside, we got everything we asked for. It's just that they funded it more with the state aid that we were told not to put in the budget. So
which could possibly not come to fruition.
and if it doesn't, then they have this account waiting for us to backfill it. So.
But it's not, would that come back under our local
Yes,
appropriation?
Yes, it's
So
a contingency that will come back under the local. Ah,
maintenance of effort, right? So that's the other.
I don't know, no, because the FTM will vote for a certain level of appropriation, and
Yeah.
that won't come in the school's base. Oh, you see the games, I didn't even think of that. You're so smart.
No, so again,
This
it's,
comes back to maintenance of effort.
but it all comes back to
Yeah, we
we're in,
tried to do the right thing.
yep,
and,
but we're in the same
you know,
community and our
it-
partners on the town council have been,
Just trying to be collaborative, and they've
Yeah.
been good to us.
yeah.
Yeah, so, all right. I'm sorry, I just wanted to be sure that the committee understood the final, because I did get a call the other day, and so I figured I'd let everybody know. Okay, if we have no other questions for our superintendent, I'd like to open it up to public comment and questions. Hi. Oh, thank you for that, though. And if you could state your name and address.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
I
you
think
gotta
so.
put your switch on. And, okay, yes.
So, I have been in several discussions, over the last several weeks with the school, regarding, their policy. Actually, I'm nervous, I'm sorry.
Don't take your time.
Profile where that they send out to the colleges, and also the student handbook. All the documents state that the rank is calculated at the end of semester 1. It also states that it includes grades for all courses taken in grades 9 through 12. It does not say for completed classes only. It also states that rank in class is determined by adding the quality points earned divided by the total number of credits attempted, again, not completed. The way the school is calculating it now, they are only calculating completed courses, which is nowhere in the policy. Mr. Hassel did respond to me today in an email stating that Situate is interpreting the word as taken, the word taken as completed. As far as a policy goes, there should be no need for interpretation with a policy. Some of the students, the senior students, are actually being ranked on their junior year cumulative GPA, where other students are being ranked their senior year. If you only take a semester class your senior year, you will be ranked as your senior year cumulative GPA. If you don't take any half semester classes, you're being ranked under your junior year. I just feel like if you want to see the true rank of all students, you're going to have to calculate all the students with all the courses at the same time. Sorry. I just feel like what's fair is fair, whether it be everybody together at the end of the junior year or all the courses included at the end of semester 1, like the policy states. This fall, my son was told that he was ranked as number 9. he did take a 1 semester course, which he did get an A+ in quarter 1 and quarter 2. You can't get a higher grade. But if he had not taken that art class and he had taken just year-long classes, he would be he would be, if he took just all year-long classes, and if he was failing, if he was failing, he could have been failing all these classes his senior year, but he would have been ranked as his junior year. It wouldn't matter. He'd probably still be in the top 10. He's now, after taking this one course, has dropped down to number 11.
Okay.
Only because of this one course, because they are judging junior year and senior year. It just doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense.
So this is probably about 14 levels into the weeds below us, but I understand the importance of
Right.
it. And what I'm hearing is that, and I'm hoping Mike is still on and our superintendent can also weigh in on this as well. I just like transparency. Like if a
Right.
student understands it, it needs to be clearly available to them that if you take a half a semester course versus a full semester, this is how it can affect your overall ranking or whatever. And I think sometimes they're just going through school and they're picking out classes and then maybe, as may have happened, it might be too late. So
Right.
I don't know if Mike can
Well,
talk to us a little bit
just
about that, but the policy, we can certainly,
One of the
based on
things
any
I'd like to
recommend-
mention also
sorry.
is that just on Saturday alone, I spoke to 10 different people, parents and students that have been in the top 10. And every single one of them was under the same impression that it was all grades from all classes through semester 1. And I find it hard that all these people have the same misunderstanding that we did.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like it was also a failure with guidance to not advise my son that he had that possibility of
Right.
dropping the rank.
So I know that the classes are weighted, like if you have
Right,
an AP
correct.
class and
Right.
so on, but you weren't, you
Well,
weren't aware of the
You know, they did say that you can actually get a higher
GPA.
a higher weight if you took an honors English or something like
Yes.
that. But my son's an AP. He's higher than that level anyway, so it really doesn't make
So it comes
sense.
down to the real
Correct.
around the fringes.
So
I think
also,
the
Madam Chair?
policy, just one last thing, just
Mhm.
the policy issue that you raised. And we could take it to the policy committee and we can
It's just
tighten
the
up
wording
the
is not
ambiguity
clear.
that's there, but I'm going to turn it over to the
I think it's an
superintendent.
operations policy. It's not, I don't think
Right.
the policy belongs with the school committee. And I'm glad you're
I
here
thought
speaking
that
to
you
us.
guys also make the,
So we,
committee,
we
the
set
policies, I'm
policy for
sorry.
the district.
okay.
The schools themselves do. So I'm gonna,
So I would recommend and suggest that Mike and I reach out to
Okay.
Mrs. Leach
Mhm.
and set up a meeting and have
We
you come
already
into the
have. I mean,
office.
this has
And
been
let-
going on for weeks
Yep.
and I had a Google Meet with him on Friday also,
Yep,
so.
I'm happy to sit with the two of you, take a look at it and see what we can do to make sure that the process is transparent, that it's well understood, that it's clear, and that we make sure that the issues that you've raised, we look into and make sure that
Gonna
there is
resolve going
equity.
forward.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
have written
I
also.
mean, honestly, the only problem, and trust me.
Yeah.
This is news to me because
Mhm.
my daughter's right, in that area too.
Right,
And it's like, it would be very upsetting to me as a parent to find out this and your son or daughter is a senior.
right,
Right,
correct.
So this could affect and being in the top 10.
I feel like
you know,
most of
trust
the
me,
public does not
it's very
know.
important for the students.
Right,
And so I think what you're looking for is a remedy to resolve this, to move, to correct the issue or see
Right.
if there's some issue that can be resolved.
correct.
Michael, does he want to say something or? Nope.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so Mrs. Leach and I have been working together with guidance and our data manager, Mr. DeLuglio. Probably February vacation, we announced the top 10 at the end of January, at the end of the semester. Guidance has been working with Mrs. Leach, and then I got involved in the past couple of weeks. We did have a Google Meet. I've asked Mr. DeLuglio to kind of, within the sandbox of Power School, take her points and start running some numbers to ensure that we got it right, because like I said, we have called down the top 10 and we've announced who they are. My understanding is there's no school committee policy around class rank. What Mrs. Leach is referring to is our school profile that we've been using for several years, and that's gone out to colleges as well. In the past, we have, talking to Mr. DeLuglio, he went back like he's been here so long, 20 years. And 20 years ago, they used to do it, one way. My understanding is first principal, there was a time where class rank was being calculated using those senior classes that students are enrolled with. I have reached out to my colleagues throughout the state, and there are several schools that do it the way that we have shifted to in the past 5 years, which is we only count completed courses. At Situate High School, we do not factor in the courses that are still in progress their senior year. And I hear Mrs. Leach, and I if transparency is an issue, or if students feel that they are not, this is a surprise to them, that's not a good thing. So, we have run the report, and I have that guarantee from both guidance and our data manager, the way that we have been doing it in the past couple of years. We've announced the top 10. And in my mind, it really, if we need to form a committee and look at, are we in line? Are we doing this correctly? I think that's a good idea. And I know that there are several conversations statewide and countrywide around eliminating class rank. And I think that Situate's ready for that conversation. And I think this is a prime example of why.
Mrs. Leach, you see why the parent voice is so important. So
Yeah.
it looks like we're going to be able to go back and revisit this. I know, thank you, Mike, for the efforts that you're making on this issue. And I think, again, I think Lori's suggestion is a really good one, and see whether or not we can come up with in a way to either revisit class rank overall, or figure out how we're going to make some of those changes in our current system.
Also, just not necessarily with all of class rank, I had also said just to make sure that the policy and program of studies accurately reflects what you decide, but that there's no gray areas, and that guidance and anyone who comes into the guidance office in the future is also aware of the policy. So when they're advising students which classes to take, it's still, I don't quite get it. And I know you had just said a little while ago about number 5 and do the students really care? I wasn't going to come here tonight. Me and Mr. Hassel have been discussing it, and I talked to my son about it, and he wanted me to come here and just let it be known, because most of the public does not know that they're ranking between junior and
glad you
senior
did.
year.
I'm glad you did. Thank
So,
you.
But it still doesn't resolve it for me, though, personally. All
Well, we'll see.
right, thank you.
Thank you again.
Maureen Kennedy, 10 North Doctors Lane. Okay. I was here, well, not here physically, but last month. I hate this setup. To tell you that the teachers, how disappointed we were that we hadn't received our contract that was settled in December. At the time, the school committee members all shared their concern and said that they too believed that was unacceptable. That was a month ago. Yesterday, at the end of the school day, I received Mr. Anderson's finished work. He did apologize for the delay. And he said that his hope is that we can finish this matter by simply accepting all of the changes. And he attached this document. That is a working document from when we were negotiating. I highly doubt any attorney on earth would sign a rough draft of a contract. This is extremely unacceptable.
Did
And-
you, I'm sorry, did you get back to John on any feedback and tell him how you felt or any feedback at
After
all?
2 o'clock yesterday. So I don't know that Mr. Anderson understands that I'm a full-time teacher. I also have doctor's appointments and a family. Sending that document that I actually had in December as the finished product, why would I contact him?
So,
Why? I don't understand. And I know he says it's tedious and it's been time consuming, but I have a finished document that I did in under 6 hours. So I really don't understand what the problem is. And I really think that the teachers deserve an explanation and an apology. It's gone too far. This has been going on since we're in 23. We began what, 21?
So are you saying that so you have two documents, the one that you've updated and the one that John updated?
Mr. Anderson did not update it. That is the document that we
Can I
had.
ask I want to ask a clarifying question, just so we're all on the same page. So I knew we were waiting for the final draft but everything had been decided. So I would be expecting that you would be receiving, and again, I'm ignorant, so please enlighten me if I'm not right, that you would be receiving a document like this.
Correct.
So you guys have done, so when you show me something that has all the tracks on it with the red and this is the working document.
Correct. It has
And-
the salary scale from 5 years ago in it.
And I just want, this is strictly for clarification.
Okay.
When negotiations were finally complete.
In December, yes.
Yes, in December, January, February, March.
Mhm.
Everything that was in here was decided upon, like everyone was in agreement.
It had, yes.
Right, so this document had to then turn into this
Do you
document,
want
which
us
would,
just to take the track changes off, Maureen?
but I.
No. How do you look at that document?
okay.
Would you sign that document? That is a
No.
legal document that has crossouts, added notes, misinformation in it.
Passes to the,
That is horrendous.
Okay, let me just go.
Now, you
Can I
have to
tell you-
understand, let me just, I
Yeah,
need to understand,
Yeah.
it's not only that the teachers are very upset, and I've been asked constantly for months for their contract. Your administrators cannot perform their duties at
Mhm.
the top capacity because they have no idea what's in this contract.
Can I
It's
just-
unacceptable.
Can I just talk a little bit about, because as you can see, the last time that we came here, we had concerns about the contract as well and why it was taking so long for it to get to the final form.
I'm sorry, Carolyn, and nobody has reached out in a month. That everybody showed their disdain, and yet it's been a month. And still we haven't gotten since.
Want to see the text messages and the
No,
emails?
no, because I work hard
Okay.
too, and I've done that too. I
Okay,
did
so
that
let me just-
document in under 6 hours.
We understand. I'm sorry you feel this way. I'll have John call Amanda and we'll figure it out. From what I understand.
Is this not an unfair labor practice or something? Like, I really don't understand.
Well, I'm trying to
ju-
explain it to you.
What do you explain? You're explaining why there's a delay. You're saying that this is acceptable, but
Every time I say something, you attack me.
I'm not attacking you in any way
Let me just
whatsoever.
say
I'm
one thing.
sharing my discomfort and
just
my
going to
unhappiness.
And I am sorry you feel that way. And again, we expressed our concerns about the teachers not having a contract, and it is our number one priority, I have to tell you. But we're trying to work with the attorney. He said that he went through all of the changes that had happened back then. He even picked up some additional changes that needed to be happened that actually benefited the union that were not in your copy. He looked at your copy. And he sent a document that was a comprehensive document with track changes for the union and Amanda to look at, to make sure that you didn't have anything else. I do want to say one more thing. And then if you agreed with the changes, accept them and let's move to signature. That's how it was explained to, I think, to all of us or whatever. I do want to say, though, I did see a separate communication on, he knew that the salary.
He sent that,
sent
and
that,
then an
and
hour
then
later sent a salary
because
scale.
Stephanie was working on updating all of the tables.
That was yesterday. I asked a
Yeah.
month ago what the problem is.
Yeah.
Should have had it 3 months ago. So there are a lot of excuses, a lot of reasons. It's unacceptable. You can't say your teachers are your number one priority when nobody has called this man on the carpet. Nobody has asked him, what is taking so long? He works for you. You don't work for him. He works for you. He should have been told that was a priority, and he was not. And it's still not.
Well,
I'm ready to sign that tonight if you are. We could sign it tomorrow. I'm sure you're not going to sign it tonight because you don't trust me, but it's ready to go.
Just wanted to ask anybody from the union side, whether it's you or Amanda. I think he went back and went line by line, and I think even a lot of these changes that you're seeing are things, like you said, are just things coming out of the contract. And so we were trying.
That's not true. He added words that we hadn't even discussed. I don't want to back and forth all night because really I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. What you're explaining, and maybe that's what was explained to you, it is not true. It is not true.
And honestly, I hate to say if I've been misled, because honestly, when Maureen came to last meeting, the contract, I know we contacted John shortly thereafter. When I look at a contract, because I'm done with them quite often, is when you come to your final agreement and they're going to type it up and sign, it's exactly what was finalized at the last meeting, not changes after you ended it months ago.
Exactly.
It ends that day, the final meeting has occurred, and John or whoever's going to.
It is true, Carolyn. He added a definition for what a work day is, what a school day is. So it is true that things were added after the fact. Also, every other contract we've done, I've done, this is my third or fourth, I don't know. I have, after the last meeting, I've offered to put it together for signing and have done it, and it's never taken more than a week. I offered that again this time around, was denied. Okay.
And that was in December.
Yes. And you have text messages with Mr. Anderson. So do we, and texts and emails and all that stuff. And every one of them it's tedious. I've gotten to it. Oh, I spent 6 hours. Oh, you wouldn't accept that from us if I didn't enter my grades. It shouldn't be accepted for us. I would like a deadline. I asked for this a month ago. I want a deadline. I want to sign contract by Friday. Because this is crazy.
So what you have right here
Mhm.
is
Everything.
what between all of negotiations, this, you've taken out what had to come out, you've put in what needs to go in.
We've been working on the same docs all along. Yep.
So because that's what I keep going back to,
Mhm.
is that this, and it took us so long to get there. I don't have to tell anybody in this room, right?
Mhm.
That was December.
Correct.
So there were no more decisions to be made after
Absolutely
December.
none.
So
It was
that's
done.
what I'm hoping for discussion with the committee on this right now. So if there are nothing that,
There's things missing. According to John.
If you could read it, you'll see that there is nothing missing from that. I'm not talking about the draft I sent John last week. I sent him what I started last week because to try to get a little push, listen, I have this much done. Why don't you do this? Nothing from that point on. That has the entire thing, everything. The worst part about that is I put it in a 12 font and I would have rather something else. But
Maureen,
other than that,
Maureen, do you have that electronically?
I do.
Can you send it to me electronically?
I'll send it to everybody electronically
Please,
if you'd
thank
like.
That'd be great. Thank you.
so then I think that, because again, I would never have expected to see, based upon what I assumed we were waiting for. I was not part of the negotiations. I was not at the table, but all of the information that I received, everything was decided in December. Yes.
Decided well
it's this
before
tedious work
Christmas.
to go
Yes.
line by line to make sure you're right, I'm right, but it was
Not
already
that
decided.
tedious.
But no, but either way, we're not making an error on our
Right.
end.
Totally.
So it's, and you've done that and
Mhm.
he has not,
Correct.
because this is what's being presented to me right now. So I would ask the committee, as the committee, we sent him this document for his review, and we will.
I also would like to I hope that you're not paying anything extra for all these hours and weeks and days. And I know you say not, but I did get his bills for the year last year, and a lot of them are way over what it says in his contract. So I'm just saying, whatever it is, I don't know because they can't give it to me. Well, the truth is, he's taken 3 months to do a job that took me under 6 hours, and I'm not an attorney, nor do I have a staff.
So let me ask this question too. So once this is,
So if, let me just say one thing. If John, I want to understand what the disconnect is, because I think you're saying you didn't expect to see a red line document.
No,
So
when I'm told the final document, you'll get the final contract.
about this.
I can show you his emails. The final contract will be in by Friday.
Let me just finish, Kevin. I was always under the impression, Maureen, that you were going to get the courtesy of a red line final. So you can make sure that every change that we talked about, even at those very last meetings, we're here. And that you could quickly go through it, accept the change and move forward. That's how it was explained to me. Now, I want to just clarify one thing. That doesn't mean that anything should have been added, but if he added it with a red line, and I don't think he did it to try to sneak anything in if it's red.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying
But I
it's
do
not.
want-
when-
Can I just finish?
Sure.
One thing he did say, and I wasn't at, I came in towards the
Yep.
end of the negotiation to facilitate. I wanted to get us to the
Mhm.
end. I wanted to make sure our priorities were there. But I wasn't at that very last meeting when Erica and you, Amanda, and
Mary and Lori, yes.
yeah, but who was the mediator? I forgot his name.
Mediator.
Matt.
Matt.
And I wish I took it with me because at the end, there were some things that were decided
That were signed, yes.
that were written on the top of that.
Yeah.
And were initialed by everybody. And John said, and I don't know if it's your latest version, he says, those were not included in her version. So I added them in mine. And he said, and they were important ones and they actually benefited, some of them benefited the union. So I wanted to be sure that, everything was inclusive. So I know that it sounds, but if we can take this, and I'll be happy to do it. I mean, I have asked to write it myself.
Okay, but Carolyn, I just have to
but
say,
that-
no, please let me finish this. You're saying that you thought you were going to get a red line copy and I was going to look at it and approve it and all that stuff. And that I sent him a copy that I was missing stuff that was bad for the union. What happened was
It's not that dramatic.
No, I know, but what it's,
just not-
you're saying it dramatically in a nice way. Oh, and he noticed things that will benefit the teachers, and that's why he's taking a long time. What I sent him last week was not a final version, and it didn't have everything in it. I even told him that. Didn't have the salary and it was hello, it's not that hard. Let's get this going. After months of asking, I have emails from Mr. Anderson saying it'll be done on Tuesday. It'll be done on Friday. Done is not that.
Okay, have a deadline. Friday, you'll have a signed contract. You'll have a final contract by Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Lauren, do you want
Is it
these?
this Friday? I'm
What?
assuming?
Do you want these?
Well,
I'll take this one. This is garbage. And if you want, for your reading pleasure, and you're gonna send it.
I don't
I
think,
am. I'm
I
gonna-
don't think it's garbage. I just
This
think
one.
it's red
No, this
lines.
is no
with
good.
Every change that as a
saying it's
courtesy
not
was
something
out
to
there.
read. That's the final.
Okay. We will take the one and we'll take the red
I-
lines out and
I
we'll
do
send
want to say, and I'm sorry, this should not still be happening. And I'm not going to point fingers, and I'm sorry. With this, it took us long enough to get to this point. I'm sorry.
There are no excuses. I am
Yeah.
not making any excuses. I feel badly, but I want to just say one thing to the teachers sitting here and I'm hoping the teachers and they get this message. The contract itself may not have gone as smooth and the process may not have gone as smooth. A fight came to this committee. We didn't have a fight for you. I get why you were upset, but we all support you. I've been saying that forever. I'm sorry that this has gotten to this point, and we're going to make sure that it will be over by Friday. But I don't want this process to overlay the real feelings and the support, and I hope that you have felt for over the years that this committee has had for our educators. It's just unfortunate that this our last contract went well. This did not go as well. We apologize, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to end this thing on Friday. Does anybody else have anything else to say? Okay. Does
have a-
anybody else have any public comment?
Public comment on Zoom. Bianca Mancini, go ahead and unmute.
Hi, everybody. Bianca Mancini, 665 Hope Furnace Road. Just two questions. The testing that was done or that was approved for Cato, has that been completed?
The testing is over. It was completed on Friday, Bianca. We still don't have any information on the testing yet.
That's okay. Just
but
wondering if it was done.
I think Friday is going to be a big day. We're hoping to get the report by Friday.
Okay, and then can you tell me when your next mediation date is?
We're waiting for the results of the report first.
Okay.
It's actually still in mediation. The mediator is working with both sides as we try to work through a solution, and the testing is part of that. So I'm
Okay.
hoping, and I'm hoping everybody
Bianca.
here tonight and everybody at home and in this whole community is praying that the testing comes out good.
So I
Yep.
think we were hopeful to have it for tonight. It's listed on the executive,
Yep.
agenda, which we're
Right.
doing after. Obviously we can't discuss what we don't have. I think it was just completed today. So, we as a committee have already started discussing, once we know we have the data and we know, scheduling a school committee, again, it will be an executive session, but we need to keep moving and we're not slowing down. So we're not waiting for another month. We're not waiting for, so once we have that, we know that information is ready and we have the appropriate people to, review it with us. We'll be immediately scheduling a, school committee meeting to review it.
That sounds great. I appreciate you guys putting the speed on getting all that testing done. So thank you.
If anyone else on Zoom wants to make a comment, please hit the raise hand button.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to new business, do I have a motion to approve the 2023-2024 school calendar?
Do we want to do a motion? Then we can do discussion after.
You know what? Let's hold the motion and let's do the discussion in case anybody has any changes.
You don't want to hear me in stereo. So the calendar that's being presented to us, I know there was one change, Lori.
Yes.
What was it that?
Added the 22nd of April as a PT day because we were going to be out the week of the 15th to the 19th for April vacation, come back for a Monday, be out again on Tuesday. Actually at the RISA meeting this morning, superintendents were talking about this calendar and the discussion came up about that 22nd and the fact that a lot of districts were taking it as a PD day, knowing that chances are our attendance
Mhm.
is so great on that one day.
So, and my question just, and I think I know the answer, but I just want it. So this again is a statewide calendar.
It is a statewide calendar, the vacation week.
Oh,
sorry. The vacation weeks are consistent with the proposed state calendar so that there is consistency for transportation and for parents and for teachers.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the presented 2023-24 school calendar.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. It pains me to say that we'll be back to school in August. But-
Yes, and I did at my superintendent's coffee yesterday, I think it was. I did review the calendar with the parents that came. And I was surprised. I thought I might take some heat for that, but people were generally very happy and preferred.
It's just me.
I was not actually, Colleen, I was surprised. I really thought. Yeah,
Years ago, we had 1 year out it, COVID hit, we were on a state schedule. So you mentioned this is a state schedule, but I know Foster didn't have a full week off.
I don't know that we ever got rid of February vacation.
Yeah, we did. We voted.
Half a
and 1
day, I
year
think at
without it.
half, we took,
1 year without it, and then we did a Monday. Yeah, 1 year, 1 year when we cut back. It was on snow days.
yeah.
So as it,
4-day weekend.
as it stands right now, our end of school date is June 13th. So I think I'm,
I think they just give it the days to the front versus them going into September, so.
mm,
I don't know, how do the teachers feel about?
Right now, because of snow days, we're at.
we have to put 4 in.
No, no, I mean, for this current year.
Oh.
We're on a Friday.
Yeah, we're on a Friday.
June 23rd. Yeah, another snow day, we're into the next.
And then we go back.
Really?
Yeah.
We haven't even had that much.
to start earlier to
We
get, so
had
you're,
2
I
days.
get it, I know.
2 days.
I-
Benefit for AP courses, because you can't move AP testing.
Right.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
It just messes with my head that last week of August. But no,
She's
Yeah.
good.
Additional PD days was one of the other reasons why we're talking about more days to begin with, right? So we've added those additional days on. So that adds additional days
It's
to
4
the,
days.
wherever you're gonna put it.
So and I don't want to kick a bee's nest, and I'm not sure if but where are we with the, and I get everyone wants a snow day, let the kids play, I'm not like us, where are we with our ability to do, like,
So we have to submit an application to RIDE. It is comprehensive. We have not submitted one. The ruling at RIDE is at a minimum for a snow day to count. We have to do at least 3 hours of live instruction for everybody. So that means kindergartners, first graders. So we have not submitted that. I got lucky, quite honestly. It's been a mild winter. We haven't
Yeah.
had a lot of snow. We have to have the conversation, but it's a difficult conversation to have when we're saying we need to provide gap closure programs, because when kids are online, it's not the same. They need
So-
to be live in front of their teachers.
so, and
right?
by having a true snow day, while we're still extending the school year, we're providing them with face-to-face.
Yes, direct instruction.
No,
with
I,
the
yeah, I see.
Teachers.
Having it right after having a week off was just a lot.
Yeah, I know it was really bad timing. I'll give you that. The one
I don't want you
time
to
it
wait for
snowed,
3 hours.
but we've been lucky.
No, I know.
Okay, do I have a motion for the approval of the school calendar?
We did.
I
Oh,
did
did
make a
I?
motion, I did, I think.
Did we have a
Did
second?
we vote?
All those in
We
favor?
voted. No, we voted, I think,
Okay.
and then I went
I
on
think
a,
we're still talking.
I went on a tirade. Ugh, that was me, I'm sorry. I did it before, I did it after.
Maybe I shouldn't have done the contract. Okay. The ratification of the first student contract. I have a question, so let me ask my question and then I'll ask for the vote if that's okay. Why do the attachments still have the monitors in there? Like, we're not going that way,
Lori,
so.
Mike.
Thank you. I saw that highlighted as,
A menu item?
yeah, something we could add, but we have,
Don't have to
yeah,
take
this
advantage
committee
of
has
it.
decided they're not adding the monitors. Right.
Okay, thank you for coming. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the first student contract?
Maybe we can do discussion after motion.
No, I'm doing the discussion now. Does anybody else have any questions about the first student
I
contract?
guess I just. I turn it on.
Should have like a buzzer.
I know. Zap. Like an electrical, Chris, oh, imagine if you could do a baby, like zapping us up, getting it.
Zappers.
As painful as it is this as good as it gets?
I know.
I know,
Probably the
I,
best in the state.
yeah, no, I,
Really good.
it's not what we want to see, but I have full faith that,
Well,
so
be
please,
honest with you, you know how I feel about lunch and transportation.
yeah.
Companies, they have very deep pockets. You know, they take advantage of school districts, in my opinion. We have gotten this down from a 15% increase to a 10, to a 12, and now it's a 10. And the reason why I'm okay with it is because I trust Jay. And Jason said that this contract is by far the best that anyone's gotten in Rhode Island yet. And he was concerned that they might pull some things off the table. So I said, okay, let's move with it. So-
Every conversation I've had with superintendents around the state, they are looking at 30%. All day long, 30%. They're saying to me, Lori, you're crazy.
I know, but I have to,
I know, I get
but,
it.
and I appreciate the diligence.
Well,
That's what I want to say. There was,
We got to where we
With
are.
that said,
Yeah.
do I trust them? Absolutely not.
no,
One of the things that they did, reason why they dropped it, they were using our rates based on the retail of diesel fuel. Does anybody ever go down to their main parking with it in Providence? They buy diesel fuel
Huh.
by,
yeah.
I go, okay, I want your price of diesel food, not the retail price. It dropped. It dropped
yeah.
again. And I said, are you doing that to every school district in the state? So I don't trust them.
Mm.
And if diesel fuel goes down, Jay's got a clause in there that they will revisit the total price per bus.
So I'd like to make a motion to thankfully, no, I'd like to make a motion to. I would like to make a motion to, let's say it right. Ratification for the first student Situate contract extension proposal for 23 to 26.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. At this time, do I have a motion to move into executive session?
I would like to make a motion to move into executive session and close open session. It's opposite for us.
Right,
usually.
and
Yeah.
close open session. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Heather. Thanks, everybody.
Ozzy, nice to meet you. Yes, where's your office?
424. Yeah, high school.
Oh, you're in the, okay.
Right
by
the middle school.
Oh, do I have a vote?
So that was me.
Okay,
No, wait.
all those in favor?
Where? Aye.
Okay. Welcome back to our regular session. We did convene an executive session. There were no votes taken at this time.
Oh, there were,
Oh, I'm sorry, just the votes on the minutes. And the discussion on the items listed on the agenda with one item tabled. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?